All right, everyone, we have a few massive Nintendo Switch news stories that dropped out of the blue today, and we got to go over all of them, and we have to start it off with the Pokemon Legends Arceus 6-minute overview trailer that does a fantastic job explaining what this game is and why it really truly is looking more and more like the Breath of the Wild of the Pokemon franchise. Then we also have to cover the reason that Mario Kart 9 is finally in the news, as it is all but confirmed that this is an active development from Nintendo, and I want to share it with you all today. And then the big talking point for today's video is why the long rumored and awaited Switch Pro may be a thing of the past and may be totally dead, and we may be able to expect a true next gen successor to the Switch in the year of 2024. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we're actually covering a few different massive stories that I did not expect to drop today, but sure enough, they did, and we have to kick it off with Pokemon Legends Arceus and a brand new 6-minute overview trailer. It is currently up on the Nintendo Japanese YouTube channel account. It has not been translated into English yet. I'm sure we will probably get the English overview trailer at some point tomorrow, most likely, but this is a great look at what this game really has to offer in terms of the first Breath of the Wild style Pokemon. And while it has been described that it is not a full-on Breath of the Wild experience, and it's akin to more of like a Monster Hunter Stories type of layout, in the sense that you have to go into a broad open area and then come back to kind of the central hub, it's by no means a full-on open world experience, but I think it is a massive step in the right direction to getting towards that style of a Pokemon game one day in the future. And of course, this 6-minute overview trailer gives us a look at a lot of different environments. The things that stick out to me from it is the fast action combat in the overworld that you do not traditionally see in Pokemon games. Like, definitely the majority of all the action always takes place just when in battle, and it is a classical style turn-based RPG at the core of its game, and that's how you get the enjoyment out of Pokemon games. Well, this time around you have a dodge roll mechanic, which is very akin to the Dark Souls style dodge roll that I am a huge fan of. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I'm a huge Dark Souls fan, and so it's one of those things that I can see a lot of intense interactions with high level Pokemon that shoot a blast at you. You got to get out of the way. You can definitely sneak up on Pokemon. Like, the stealth elements are very heavy in this game as well, and I gotta say that start to finish, looking at this 6-minute trailer, I am more hyped for this to drop than ever, as it will be out January 28th, and there's just a lot of reason to give this one a chance, even if you are not traditionally a huge Pokemon player, and over the years maybe you've gotten sour on the formula that they've stuck to very religiously. Like, they very rarely differ from their traditional strategy that's really been around since the Game Boy era of games. And of course, we saw them do a little step with the open environment layout in Sword and Shield, but outside of that, we have seen very minimal changes over the course of time, and this looks to be the first one to add some real new core elements into the game, and I just personally cannot be more excited for this thing to drop this month. So please share with me all your thoughts and feelings on all things Pokemon Legends Arceus in the comments down below, and also let me know if you are planning on picking this up at release on January 28th. Now, the next story we're talking about today has to go with really an ongoing joke that we have here on the channel, which is that we will never get a Mario Kart 9 because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues to top the sales charts month in and month out, and it is extremely frustrating for me as somebody who played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe fully through and through on the Wii U when it was originally released in 2014, and I've been waiting this entire time to get any kind of news information on some kind of new Mario Kart project, and we finally have it here today. So to kick off this conversation and get us all on the same page on why it is in the news and why this is a big deal, I want to quickly hop over to VGC to read through an article together with all of the information we know so far, and why there may be a new exciting mechanic or twist to this game when we do finally see it drop. Analyst tips Nintendo to release second Switch Mario Kart game. Industry watcher thinks Nintendo may be gearing up to announce a racing sequel. Nintendo could reveal its next Mario Kart game this year, Contend Games analyst Dr. Surikan Toto has forecasts. Offering his predictions for 2022 in a GamesIndustry.biz article, Toto also suggests that the next Mario Kart game could shake up the series with a surprise element. I'm aware Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling very well on the Nintendo Switch, but Mario Kart 9 is in active development and comes with a new twist, and Nintendo could tease it this year, he said. The last mainline entry in Nintendo's racing series, Mario Kart 8, was released for the Wii U in 2014. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, an enhanced version of the game for the Nintendo Switch, was released in April 2017, the month after Nintendo's latest console launched. To date, Nintendo has never released more than one mainline Mario Kart game on a single console. The platform holder said in November 2020 that the Switch had shipped almost 93 million units, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had officially become the franchise best-selling entry ever, with nearly 40 million copies sold. And to quickly highlight Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's ridiculously high sales, it comes in at 38.74 million, topping out over Mario Kart Wii, which was the previous console holder as far as the best-selling Mario Kart game, at 37 million. Then you had Mario Kart DS coming in at 23 million, Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS at 18 million, and Mario Kart 64 at just 9.8 million. So for someone like me who is just truly a Mario Kart fan through and through and has just been patiently awaiting a new iteration of the series, because, you know, if you've been playing the same tracks and stages and characters since really 2014, and they did, of course, add in DLC that's all included in the deluxe version of the game, so there was some newer content over the years, but in all reality, I'm pretty familiar with all the stages, all the characters, and I'm ready just for a new Mario Kart experience. And I think that this is very exciting news that an analyst is all but confirming that Nintendo is actively developing this. I think that's a pretty safe prediction to make either way, because obviously, you know, Nintendo's not just going to give up on one of their best-selling franchises of all time like the Mario Kart series. So of course we will get a sequel at some point, but if it's actively in development and they actually do tease it this year, that could very well mean that this is an early 2023 game, and that could mean it's the second iteration of a Mario Kart, which you could argue is not really the case since it is a Wii U port of what we have on the Switch right now, but it would be the first time that Nintendo technically put out two different Mario Kart titles on the same console. So I personally am very excited for it. Now we have to quickly cover the speculation on what this actual game mechanic twist could be, and that could be a number of different things. Maybe it's hinting the fact that this could be the first ever Nintendo Kart, where they just ditch the Mario Kart name and truly make it the Smash Bros of Mario Kart, where you have a large roster from all types of different Nintendo franchises, and maybe even some collaborations with different companies to get their characters added into the game. Or it could be referencing an actual gameplay mechanic, such as we saw my favorite Mario Kart to date, Double Dash, sell on the GameCube, and we had two characters on the same cart that you could swap in and out, and that personally to this day has been my favorite Mario Kart iteration and my favorite mechanic. And I liked the way that you could strategize around character specific special items as well. Like I remember Baby Mario and Baby Luigi had a chance of getting the Chain Chomp, and they were the only ones that could get that, if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm remembering that right. And I just had a ton of fun with that game start to finish. It's one of the only Mario Karts that I didn't only play multiplayer. I actually went through and beat everything at the highest cup and went all the way to mirror mode and made sure I finished everything in first place. I had a ton of fun with Double Dash and would love to see something similar to that return, but maybe that's not what it is. Maybe it's referencing the roster, maybe it's referencing some kind of brand new gameplay idea that, you know, we haven't seen from Nintendo, because of course they like to stay creative and try new things, and so it very well could be just an entirely new direction for the Mario Kart series. But I want to hear from you guys on this story, what you think, when you think we might get a glimpse of the gameplay of whatever Mario Kart 9 is, and whether or not you think that it will return to something like a Double Dash mechanic like I am personally hoping for, or if you think this is referencing Nintendo really doing the first ever Nintendo Kart, and that's what you think this project actually is. So I do look forward to hearing from you on all things Mario Kart and all this new information in the comments down below. Now, the last story we're talking about today has to do with the same analyst that we just referenced for the Mario Kart 9 news, and his comments on what he thinks Nintendo is planning around the true next-gen Switch, and also the reason that the long-rumored and awaited Switch Pro may be totally dead in the water, and we may never see that thing actually hit the light of day, and we may be looking at an environment where the Switch OLED and the current power of the Switch console does take us into the next generation of whatever Nintendo has planned for the true successor to the Switch line of their consoles. And to kick off this story, I want to quickly hop over to Nintendo Life, where they do have the exact interview transcribed, so we're all on the same page with the information that has been put out there and my personal thoughts on when I think Nintendo may give us any kind of glimpse at a next-gen console. So let's quickly read through that article together. Analyst predicts 2024 release date for next-gen Nintendo Switch successor, and that Switch Pro is a no-go. With all of the rumors regarding the infamous Switch Pro and the eventual release of the Switch OLED model last year, we've hardly had a chance to think about Nintendo's true next generation of hardware. For the past year or two, the Switch has been described on more than one occasion as being in the middle of its life cycle, suggesting there are plenty more years for it to thrive. But should history repeat itself once more, something will eventually take over the reins. Decades since this hobby of ours took off, we're still yet to see a system live on without a successor replacing it after a handful of years. So what does Nintendo's future look like, and when can we expect a new system to take Switch's place? According to Ampere analyst Piers Harding Rolls, a new next-gen Nintendo console could be headed our way late 2024. Speaking to GamesIndustry.biz, Harding Rolls says that he doesn't expect a Switch Pro to arrive this year or possibly ever, and that the Switch sales will start to see a slight decline this year. He's quoted here saying, "I'm currently expecting the console market year-on-year performance to be quite flat in 2022 as Switch sales decline and we come off what has been an amazing couple of years for console gaming. Even so, Nintendo Switch family of devices will once again be the best-selling consoles in 2022 at around 21 million sold to consumers, aided by the release of Switch OLED. I'm not expecting a Switch Pro in 2022. We have a next-gen Nintendo console in our forecast for late 2024, so I'm convinced a Pro model isn't going to appear at all." So I personally think that this is a very exciting story to look at and unpack and talk through together, because Nintendo is absolutely, in according to their own statement, in unprecedented territory with the success of the Nintendo Switch console, and how they take the next step is crucial because we've seen them have these kind of numbers before, although you could argue not with the same hardcore type of fan base that they have captured with the Nintendo Switch line of systems. You still have had them have extremely successful consoles, and then the follow-up to that console could be a total flop, such as the Wii and then going to the Wii U. I mean, of course, that was a lot of misstep with marketing and how they handled the console as a whole, but I definitely think I will be watching very closely to what this next Switch will actually be. And if we do forego a Pro altogether and don't get any kind of more powerful hardware, then we have to have that conversation about how will third-party games come over and run effectively on the Nintendo Switch platform. Of course, you can argue that Nintendo always has enough first-party titles to support on their own that you really don't have to have the third-party games, but it's definitely a bonus when you can, especially with the hybrid form factor that they achieved with the Nintendo Switch line of systems. So I'm going to be watching this one very closely. I don't know if we're getting anything in terms of another revision in 2022 or 2023. I did mention it in a video recently. I think maybe a safe bet for another revision would be something like a Switch Lite OLED model, and they could sell that alongside of all of the other consoles at $250, or maybe we see them even get aggressive with some price cuts and drop everything by $50, and then you have the basic Switch Lite selling at $150, which could really aid sales for the simple handheld. And I do think they are treating the Switch line of systems differently than we've seen them treat home console lines in the past, simply because it is technically a handheld as well. And we have seen them do so many revisions with the DS and 3DS over the course of time. I don't think we'll get that number with the Switch, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Nintendo continues to tinker with the same form factor, but just enhance it as we go along. So I personally could go on either side of the fence on whether or not I think we'll see a Switch Pro at some point. 2024, especially the end of 2024, just seems like a long time to be on the current hardware for me personally, especially with no 4K support. But maybe Nintendo comes out with the dock, or they update the dock on the OLED and somehow enable a 4K resolution. Like, they dropped Bluetooth support into the Switch on a random system update years after it was released. So Nintendo does random things sometimes, but I definitely think to get 4K, we have to get some kind of revision or just the true next-gen console. But at this point in the video, guys, I want to hear from you on all your thoughts and opinions on what you think Nintendo's next step will be with the Switch in the future. Do you think that we're waiting until the end of 2024, as this analyst does, expecting to see the new console, the true next-gen Switch, come out then? Or do you think Nintendo drags out the Switch longer, maybe just has things like a Switch Pro that can play both the existing Switch games and the older games? And bonus question, share with me whether or not you think the Switch 2 or whatever the true next version of the Nintendo Switch's hardware will feature backwards compatibility or not, because that's going to be a hot topic as well, just for around the fact, imagine if Nintendo just broke off and didn't allow you to play your existing Switch games whenever they do come out with this next console. I certainly hope that that is not the case and we have full backwards compatibility to kind of ease us into the next generation. But as I mentioned, guys, I do look forward to hearing from you guys on all the different things we talked about today, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.